Helen.
And I'm Liz.
And we're sisters,
Scientists.
and lifelong X-Files fans.
And this is We Want to Believe.
All right. So welcome to We Want to Believe. We have a special guest with us this week.
We have our friend Wolf, aka Katie. She is the chemist that we have referred to a few times, and also the one who went on a ghost tour and
had her hand held.
Your hand was held. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Wolf and I are in Berlin right now. Nothing spooky has happened to me yet in Europe.
Have you gone on any of the ghost tours?
No ghost tours yet. No.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's reasonable that nothing spooky has happened.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like I've been with students. It hasn't been especially spooky atmosphere. Maybe the students are gone and now there'll be time for ghosts. I don't know.
Maybe the ghosts were too annoyed by the students.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were good students. They were good.
Well,
I feel like the ghosts maybe were like, they're cool. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Maybe one of the students was a ghost and I just didn't know it.
Yeah. You'd be like, I have to enter in Caleb's grade, and there was no Caleb.
And there was not. Yeah, I like that. Also, we have the windows open in here because it is very, very warm in the hotel room. But this is also pretty. Air. Technically, there's air, but he said it's very old. So he brought up the fan, and the fan works, but it's very loud. So I turned the fan off, but the windows are wide open, and the hotel is right near the hospital. So we might hear sirens.
But they're cool European sirens.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll make us feel like,
it's proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm not just in my house. Who would know?
Lying about your European adventures.
So anyway, since Wolf is here, since she's watched this episode, and since she has been listening to every episode of the podcast, she is a guest today.
Yeah, also, thank you for being in Berlin. I almost said being here with us. I have not watched this episode, so it's more going to be like I'm the guest this one.
Okay, it's very good that we watched it. We had kind of trouble because Hulu apparently isn't available in Germany.
Oh, right.
But Wolf had a VPN and was able to get it not on Hulu still, but through Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Is Fox owned by Disney?
I have no idea.
Was it on Fox or am I?
It was on Fox.
Right.
Yeah.
My only knowledge of that is that Fox did the animated movie Anastasia,
which is not Disney, but it is on Disney Plus.
Oh,
I don't know if it is. So maybe.
I thought it was.
Maybe it is in Germany.
Yeah. But yeah, Hulu, you can just log into Hulu and see all the shows, but you can't watch any of them. They're just like, here they are, in case you were curious.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. When we were in Paris last year, we got Friends again on Netflix, which was really nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah. Cool. So we have a few updates besides the lack of ghosts in Europe so far. So I have an email sent to us, which is very exciting. You all, whoever is listening, needs to send us more emails.
Remember, it is we want to believe pod@gmail.com.
Yep. So this email says, "Hi all, this is Josh, Katie's friend." Katie being that one.
Hey, Josh.
I'm loving the podcast so far and looking forward to many more episodes. I did a bit of digging into the mystery of the color-changing white gold ring, and I wanted to share what I'd come up with. This was a relatively quick search, so take this with a grain of salt. Josh is a chemist as well, right?
Yes, he has a PhD in chemistry.
Okay, I feel like that's worth mentioning, that it's not just like a lay person searching.
Mm-hmm.
It's very likely that the black color you're observing when your ring is exposed to pool water is corrosion of the metal upon exposure to chlorine or other pool chemicals. The reason it goes away over time is because the corrosion only occurs in the metal that's actually exposed, so the layer of corrosion that forms is very thin and easily wipes away. I suspect that Helen may see some black smudging on her finger around that part of the ring shortly after a swim, as most of it will probably be rubbing off onto skin. I don't know, but I will observe.
But the boys are in swimming lessons, so next time you have to dunk your hand in the pool.
Yeah, and I'll have to see. I don't know if just dunking my hand in the pool will do it. I'll have
okay.
to
Like it might
see
take
how
longer.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Pure gold is quite chemically inert to most types of exposure and will not corrode easily, parentheses, if at all. The
That's why it's
issue
a
is
precious
that,
metal.
say that louder.
That's why it's a precious metal.
Oh.
What makes a metal precious? I thought it just meant like it was really nice.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not going to be very useful if it just like rusts or oxidizes really quick.
So like
gold will
it
stay
stays
shiny,
as gold.
platinum will stay
like
shiny, silver.
Stay gold, pony boy.
Yes.
Sort of thing. Okay. All right.
I don't know that that's the reference.
No, probably not. Okay. But it'll stay in my head that way. All right. Yeah.
The issue is that pure gold is too soft to use for jewelry. Even regular yellow gold jewelry typically includes some other metal like copper that is used to increase the durability of the final product. White gold is an alloy made up of about 75% gold, with the other 25% being some other metal used to increase the hardness and also to change the color. Many different whitish metals can be used, but the common selections I've seen are silver, nickel, or zinc. This is all fascinating.
Yeah,
by the way.
I know, right?
I had no idea about any of this.
I know. I'm loving this.
Because there is less gold in white gold, it tends to be more vulnerable to corrosives, which attack the non-gold portion of the metal. The different mixes also lead to some degree of color variation across different compositions of the white gold.
That would explain why it's only doing it in that one part.
Right,
New
because
part.
it was a different gold.
Yeah.
Well, he has some theories. We'll get there. For
Okay.
both reasons, white gold is frequently, but not always, plated over with rhodium, which resists corrosion and provides a consistent color.
Oh.
Given all of this, I see two reasonable hypotheses for Helen's ring. 1. Your jeweler used a different metal for the resizing. This may have been white gold made with a different additive metal that is vulnerable to the chlorinated water, where the rest of the ring is not. It may also have been the same white gold as the rest of the ring, just at a lower purity. In this case, the fuse would turn black more quickly, but the rest of the ring would follow suit if submerged for a long enough period of time. Or the jeweler may have used a completely different metal, like silver or stainless steel, that just looks like white gold for the fuse. 2. It's also possible that the rest of the ring was rhodium plated, but the fuse was left exposed. This seems unlikely since the rhodium tends to wear off plated pieces over time and needs to be reapplied. I would think that if this were true of Helen's ring, that she would be aware of it. I don't know. If this is the case, after several years of constant wear, the rhodium on the inside of the ring against the finger would be pretty heavily worn. I'd expect that there would be a black smudge all the way around the finger after a swim, which it's not for sure. Hope this helps to explain things a bit. Cheers, Josh. Thank you,
Excellent.
Josh.
Excellent.
That was
Thanks,
very
Josh.
helpful. Yes. Wonderful.
We got answers.
Yeah,
That's
that was
great.
great.
Yeah.
Cool. So this week it was Young at Heart.
Young at heart.
Yes,
Young at
which
heart.
I know. Basically, there is a guy Mulder put in prison who hasn't aged, or something of the sort.
Well,
Yeah. It's
All right, tell me
it's
about it.
weird. All right, let's get into it. So, okay, it opens with this dude in a wheelchair in prison in, as Wolf pointed out, a very open concept sort of
Yes.
prison. He's just like tooling around on his own, and he
Yeah,
goes,
it's like late at night. Apparently, it looks like, I don't know.
yeah, and he goes into this like surgery area where a doctor is doing surgery on someone, and he's like, Crandall is the name of the guy in the wheelchair, and the doctor's like, Crandall, go away.
Get out of here.
Yeah. He's like,
Oh, and
shit, what's
so
his name?
Crandall's like, is John in here like Barnett?
Yeah.
And the doctor guy goes, no, he's dead.
And so John Barnett, then we kind of realize, is the name of the dude laying on the operating table who's not
Okay.
dead, but the doctor's like, he's dead. And the Crandall, the guy in the wheelchair, is like looking at the guy on the table, John Barnett, and is like, he's blinking. So he's not dead. And then the doctor comes up and holds a scalpel to his neck and is like, you didn't see anything. He's dead.
Weird.
Go away.
Yeah. And that's the open to the show, right? Yeah. We just watched it this morning.
Mhm.
Okay.
So. And then Mulder and Scully are on the scene. Am I forgetting anything there?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
They go to a jewelry heist.
yeah. So there was a heist. Someone was killed, I believe, like the shot person.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that Mulder was made aware of this is by this old supervisor or whatever of his when he first joined the bureau, named Reggie. I liked Reggie.
Yeah.
Don't get too attached to him.
Oh, okay.
And Reggie is like, look what we found. And there's a note that's like, the fox is being hunted or something like that. Something using a fox pun on Fox Mulder in a distinctive handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And they analyze it. And it's like, this is the exact sort of note that this guy, John Barnett, had left at all of his scenes back when Mulder had tried to get him put away.
Okay.
When
This
Mulder
is
was
sounding
first
a
in the bureau.
lot like the Cerulean Blue episode so far.
Oh, God,
What
I
was
don't
that guy's
remember how
name?
that was
With
Robert
Pusher.
Modell. That was
Yeah.
Robert Modell.
Yeah.
I can't remember how that one starts. I only remember like the way he kills people.
Yeah, just the like back and forth with him and Mulder and the fact that he had put him away originally, I think, and like left specific
the fox puns.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
More fox puns.
Yeah.
Really low hanging fruit for,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
criminals or the writers.
Yeah.
Okay, so they find
So-
this note.
So the thing is, he was put away. Mulder was part of like the team that was trying to get him put away because he was like killing lots of people,
Yeah,
heisting.
he was like he robbed jewelry stores, but killed, I think they said, like 7 people in this string of robberies.
just kind of
Okay.
for the heck of it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Mulder had the chance to shoot him at the standoff, but he was really, really close to like holding a hostage. And so Mulder said, like, it's not protocol. I shouldn't shoot him when he's this close to the hostage. So Mulder hesitates. So Barnett shoots the hostage and then shoots one of the FBI agents and kills him.
Oh man.
And so Mulder has felt guilty about that.
Sure.
And so what
Yeah.
happens next? I'm forgetting.
They have a weird random scene where he's at a children's football game.
Oh my God, that's right.
Why did he
Mulder
go to
is?
that?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So
Wait.
Mulder mentions when he's talking to Scully that like, I can't remember the agent's name, the agent who died. It's like, he had a
Okay.
wife and 2 little boys.
Mhm.
His kid is on the varsity football team now. And
Yeah.
if I hadn't hesitated, if I'd shot Barnett, he'd still be here watching his son's games. And then the next scene is Mulder sitting in the bleachers watching children play football. It is not a high school varsity football game.
There are so many weird things about that scene too, because like A, it's children, and then B, the place where they're like having this football game, like it looks like mud. Like
Yeah.
it looks like the field is just mud.
But they're not getting all muddy. So it's like frozen mud or something.
Yeah, I think just like dirty concrete. But why?
Weird.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It was, and like, it just shows Mulder there and he kind of leaves.
Huh.
And
Yeah.
either we're meant to think it's the dude's son, in which case somebody really screwed up about what high school football players look like. 'Cause these are like 10-year-olds,
Yeah.
or it's not.
Maybe he's just like, man, I want to watch some football right now.
Like, I just was talking about football. Where can I see some football?
Yeah.
Here's like a weird patch of dirty concrete. I'll watch this children play.
Right. Yeah, not weird.
Yeah. And yeah, it's an organized game too. It's not like a pickup game in an empty lot. Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I'm assuming it's some sort of attempt to make it look like Mulder does things.
No, it doesn't feel that way, honestly.
No?
It feels more like moody and he's thinking about that incident.
Like Michael Scott on the
reflecting on it.
swing when
Well-
in the office.
Yes.
Yeah, when he's
Yeah.
trying to feed the pigeons by
Yeah,
tossing whole pieces
like,
of bread at them.
Pieces of bread. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so
So Mulder has the note analyzed and there's some
Yeah. Oh, there's a second note. and pictures. Like after the football game, he goes to his car and there's an envelope that has like pictures of him from like the day before. And like a note that's like, I'm watching you.
Right.
Some other Fox one probably.
Yeah, because then Mulder's like, I'm going to find you, you son of a bitch, real loud. And all
Wait, really?
At the football game start looking. Yeah. And then they sort of imply that Barnett is also at the football game.
Yeah. Oh, because one thing we didn't mention is like when Barnett was like on that table, supposedly dead, like you see his eyes and they're like milky.
Yeah, they're like milky white, like he might be blind or something.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They show like part of a face with like milky eyes. So.
All right, so I'm going to pause for a moment and ask you, Helen.
Yeah.
What do you think is going? Oh, I don't know that I've revealed the biggest thing yet. Here's the most important detail. Yeah. John Barnett died several years ago.
Yeah.
They have his death certificate. He received 340 years in prison, like sentences. And so they're like, he should have died in prison. And Scully's like, so what happened? And Mulder's like, he did die in prison.
Yeah. They found like the death certificate and it says he had like cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Cardiac arrest.
Yeah. So he had cardiac arrest. His will said he should be cremated. His ashes were scattered. What do you think is going on? Because they analyze the handwriting and they say this is a new note and it's fresh ink, but it's his handwriting. What do you think?
Ghost?
His ghost. Okay.
Ghost. I mean, I feel like that would be the most logical. I mean, depending on yeah, X-Files logical. I
want to keep checking in with you as we go.
Yeah, I mean, ghost. That's what I've got so far. I mean, or some sort of thing where like he dies, but then he is like reborn, I guess. But like if his body is cremated, either it was a fake or we need that one woman from that other episode, that police woman who's like, he's dead or whatever.
Oh, yeah. He's very dead.
He's very dead. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody saying he's very dead.
Okay. All right. Well, then he's probably only kind of dead.
Mostly dead. I need a miracle worker.
Yeah. Like in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Well, we do end up getting someone else involved, but not a miracle worker.
Yeah. We'll keep going.
So Mulder gets the second note. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
What happens?
Oh, they note that there was like one person that he was close to in prison, and it was this Crandall guy. And that's the guy that we saw in the beginning of the episode.
Right.
And then Scully tells Mulder, hey, I was talking to the prison. I reached out to them on a hunch and I asked for Barnett's medical records. And 6 months before he died, he was in perfect health. There is no reason he should have had a heart attack. He passed all these tests and he's like really healthy.
So at this point that they go visit Crandall in the prison?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I also feel like I should state that like there are other ways people can go into cardiac arrest besides not being, like you can be in perfect health. And then if something like, I mean, if you're poisoned, then you could go into cardiac arrest. Like it's not, the two are not mutually exclusive.
Got it. That's good to know. Yeah. Because I didn't think about that. But they go and at some point around now, they go and they talk to this Crandall in person.
Okay.
And he mentions Dr. Ridley.
Okay.
And he also says he ain't dead. Like he's like, he's not. I mean, I don't think he says it that way, but he's like, yeah, that guy's.
Yeah.
I saw him, like he blinked at me.
Right. Because remember, he saw him being alive.
Scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and we also saw in the opening scene that his right hand is cut off.
Yeah.
I failed to mention that. In the scene where he's laying on the surgery table, Barnett's hand is gone, bandaged. And when Mulder did shoot him, he shot him in the right hand and in the shoulder after he killed the FBI agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now his hand is gone. But he's blinking. His
is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right-handed, and in fact,
when they analyze the handwriting, they say that it's like right-handed handwriting.
So they start looking into Dr. Ridley, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think we skipped that bit where I think Crandall was like, I don't know. Okay, so the doctor that was working on him was this guy, Dr. Ridley. Yeah, go on.
And they look into him and find out that like he was experimenting, like his nickname was Dr. Mengele, so that's not good. Yeah, and he was experimenting on children who had progeria.
Oh.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Yeah, progeria is it's a genetic disorder, and it causes children to age rapidly.
Yeah.
So children show signs of aging. Their tissues start to degenerate quickly.
Yeah. And so this dude is experimenting on children in a sketchy way. So he was disbarred because he's trying to figure out how to reverse that.
Disbarred?
That's not the right word. That's not what happens to doctors.
His medical license was taken away.
Yes. Did you say dismedicalized?
I did say
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, he was dismedicalized. Yeah. I don't know why disbarred just feels right. Anyway, he was disdoctored, and he because of his experiments.
Yeah, because they kind of say something like he wasn't doing it for the children. Like he wasn't doing it because he wanted, you know, to end progeria. He saw it as like a great opportunity to figure out like what happens when you're aging and how to like prevent aging. And wanted to do some like unethical experiments.
Yeah.
And was found to be like doing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty clear he was like experimenting on prisoners.
Yeah.
That like
right.
That's what was going on. So that he can try to reverse the aging process.
Yeah.
And they show a video of him in the 70s when he was like with a kid with progeria, which is relevant because of when we see him later and what he looks like. Oh my God. Also, they keep showing this software with this picture of John Barnett, and Mulder will be like, we want people to look for him. Okay, age it up 5 years. Okay, he could be wearing any disguise. Now do that. And it's like beard and like just like different effects. And he's like, now print out all of those so we can pass them around. And it just seems so fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also like not a good fake either. It's just yeah.
Like Snapchat filters, basically.
I mean, much worse. Much worse. Yeah. And I just feel like he could be wearing any disguise. I feel like so
no
I don't
shit.
know. Well, also like so print out all of them, all the disguises. What does that mean? I don't know. I picture him like Gene Parmesan.
Gene.
So yeah, just every scene with that software was so weird.
It's just so funny.
Yeah. And it's meant to be like, ooh, cutting edge. And it just looks real stupid.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, he calls Mulder. John Barnett calls Mulder, and Mulder records it. He's like, I think that was him. They weren't able to get a trace on the phone call, but he's like, it sounded like him. And he's like, oh, you're not sure it's me? I'll prove it is. And he murders Reggie in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Before that I wanted to mention where like Mulder records the phone call and then says, listen to what he says right here, that Maryland accent.
I thought it was New Hampshire.
Or New Hampshire accent. And I heard nothing.
Yeah. It just sounds like a man talking.
Yeah.
He's like, you can pick up on it. And
it's absolutely him. Like,
yeah.
It's definitely him.
Because of that New Hampshire accent. Yeah.
Those famous New Hampshire accents.
Yeah. You know how they say words. Yeah. So
I'm getting the impression, if I may jump in, that this was not the best of episodes.
I mean, actually, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Really?
I will say this. I had no idea what was going to happen and what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you think is going on now?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the doctor was experimenting on him and somehow found a way to make him live forever.
Okay. What do you think about the fact that the notes are right-handed and we saw that his hand was cut off?
He can regrow limbs.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Is this going to come back to some sort of like lizard science?
Yes!
Really?
Yes!
No way.
He grew a salamander hand.
Wait. So like his new hand is that of a salamander?
Yes, a big giant salamander hand.
Presumably, I don't really know what salamander hands look like.
But they
they
say it
didn't-
was from a. They say it was from a salamander, and they
Yeah.
show it at the end of the episode, and it's like greenish yellow and 4 fingers.
It's real weird.
And
What?
yes,
But spoiler alert.
yeah. Sorry, jump in there. He grew a salamander hand.
Salamanders are amphibians too, right?
Probably.
Sure.
I don't
Look,
know.
you're the biologist,
Yeah.
I'm not a
lizardologist.
amphibiologist. Yeah.
Well, a lizard is an amphibian, right?
No, I think we should have Zach cut that out. Lizards are reptiles.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. In hindsight, of course.
Okay.
Salamanders are amphibians.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But
lizards
whatever.
are reptiles.
All right, but they're green and they're crawling and it's fine.
Yes.
And I'm
Okay.
not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to think that lizards, reptiles, salamanders, amphibians, they're all part of the same party.
They're all crawly with
Yeah.
tails.
Yeah.
I knew lizards weren't amphibians, but I could not think of the word reptile in that moment.
It's a really, technical scientific term.
Yes.
Well,
But
you
yeah.
are a chemist. You're not a
Yeah.
biologist. I mean,
Yeah, biologist, chemist, and a physics here today.
Yeah.
hey, represent.
And
Physics.
Some of physics. Yeah. Yes.
right.
He grew
Salamander.
a salamander
Now-
Yeah,
hand.
we should get back to like the
Yeah.
actual narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I find it, I mean, I find all of this hard to believe, but I find it hard to believe that if I were to regrow my hand as a salamander hand, that I would have the same handwriting as I do
Yeah.
now. Like,
Well, she did say it's ever so slightly different. She's 95% sure it's the same. This handwriting analysis.
okay, so 5%
the 5%
is
the 5%
from the
different is
salamander.
because it's a salamander hand.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, in spite of this, I enjoyed the episode. I did not see the salamander hand coming. I really
Wow.
didn't.
Maybe I should feel proud that I did.
Yeah. It's because you're such a good scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Okay, so Reggie gets shot.
yeah, Reggie's killed.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? You killed Reggie. What is that from? Does that mean anything to either of you? Oh my God,
No.
he killed Reggie. That doesn't mean
No.
anything?
You're not thinking of, oh my God, they killed Kenny, right?
No.
Okay.
That would be really embarrassing if I mix that up. No, Reggie, you got shot. They shot Reggie. That doesn't mean anything to anybody? All right,
No.
don't look it up now. I'm going to not worry
Okay.
about it. If you're
Okay.
listening,
Know.
if you're listening
Yeah.
to this and it means something to you, let me know.
Email in at
We want to believe pod@gmail.com.
Yes. Please
It's
do.
something from my past.
Did you say that?
I killed a man named Reggie and I just remembered.
we're getting down to the repressed memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
That's
so
gonna
Reggie is
we should
killed.
move on.
Yeah,
Reggie
and
got shot.
Mulder's like real torn up about it.
Aw.
'Cause, yeah, like he was his. They used some term, but like he was
Like his
the-
mentor,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he was like the first one Mulder worked with when he came out of Quantico.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so
we also forgot to mention that there was an interesting scene with Reggie and Mulder where they were like, Reggie was like, people think you're crazy.
oh
dude."
yeah.
And there was like a theory put forward, sort of, that like maybe it's the FBI framing him to think something crazy so that he would like get kicked out of the
Oh.
bureau.
Yeah.
Huh.
But they would have to be real serious about it because they killed that
Yeah.
jewelry store employee.
Mhm.
So
But yeah,
Yeah.
that gets mentioned.
Interesting.
So Scully hears something in her apartment.
mhm.
And I just,
Never
once
good.
again, so many attacks in Scully's apartment.
Yeah.
She hears a creak, but then there's someone
She
at her
needs a
door.
security system, man. Like,
Yeah.
we should you should start a count. How many times do they both
'Cause
get
we're up to
attacked?
2
Yeah, because what was the
Mm-hmm.
first? Who attacked Scully in her apartment? Oh, Toombs,
tombs.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Attacked her when she was in the bath?
Yeah.
She was,
remember that.
yeah.
Okay, because
she wasn't in the bath yet.
There's
But,
some really creepy bath stuff with Donnie Pfaster. You'll see.
oh, yeah.
I should mention, you haven't seen any episodes past the ones we're watching, right, Wolf?
Well, I mean, I've seen like one-offs because like when I was in college, like I never watched it when it first came out because I'm like, I would have been too young and I would have been terrified. But when I was in college, my freshman year roommate would watch it for like hours on end.
Nice.
Shout out to Megan if you're listening.
Megan, you should be a listener.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
should tell her
weird thing
about
to
it.
say because if she hears me say it, she is a
already
listener.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've seen a few episodes, but not in any sort of organized way. Yeah.
So this is at least twice now
Yes.
in Scully's house. And
Still in season 1.
yeah. So she hears a creaking noise, but then there's somebody at her door. Who is it? Dr. Ripley.
Oh.
And he looks the same as he did in the 70s. But he's like, I'm going to be dead in a month because all the diseases and the things that kill kids who have progeria, they kill us when we do the treatment. The only one who has managed to not get these is John Barnett. And so, he never killed him. He experimented on him and it worked real well. And so he was hiding out in South America, Central America, Belize to be exact. Yes. You mentioned
Dr. Ridley was?
Dr. Ripley. Yeah.
They don't really say
Ridley or Ripley. I think I've been saying both. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's Ridley. It doesn't matter too much.
Sure. Yeah. The doctor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really say what John Barnett is doing during this time.
No, but he gets away and gets all of Ridley's papers with like all his research. And so the doctor's like trying to find him to get all of that important
research.
Documentation, explanation of how to do it. That's when he tells them about the salamander hand. And
so he tells them.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to have to tell someone.
Yeah. He's like, but when the hand grows back, it's not human.
Yeah. I think they say something like, well, does it give him the power to grow his hand back? And he goes, not exactly.
Yeah. So.
Wait, so was John Barnett in prison? Though
he was in prison, but then Ridley faked him dying so that he could get him out and he could be alive and younger. Because he's not just not aging, he's looking younger.
Oh,
so that's when Mulder has to go back to the software and say, now make him 5 years younger. Hit the 5 years younger button, which seems to just give him darker eyebrows.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
No.
Like at all.
No.
Yeah.
And now do the one where like, you know, you raise your eyebrows and you get a new pair of sunglasses and like the bunny nose and the hard eyes.
I mean, the salamander hand, that should be a filter.
Oh my God. I would love that.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. And also pretty useless in a great way.
But okay, how useful?
Well, yeah, I mean,
those, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me look cute for all my profile pictures. I don't use the filters for
I just deleted Snapchat today. Because I never ever use it. Ever. I only used it to message you. And that was years ago. And I was like, why am I keeping this app on my phone? I don't even know how to log in at this point. My stepkids talk about using it all the time. And I just feel like me and Quinn in the same app. It's like, I'm too old for this app. It's too hard. It's passed me by. It's okay.
I'm on Instagram. That's it.
That seems like kind of a broad, like it's for everyone.
Yeah. Not so dating as being only on Facebook, but not trying to be young either.
I am technically on Instagram, but I don't do anything.
Well, and I'm technically on Facebook, but I don't do anything.
Yeah. I'm old,
but
ish. It's okay.
Yeah.
I like being on Facebook. I'm like, these are my people. These are all the old people. Here we are. Yeah. So anyway, so Scully's getting in the shower one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Always creepy.
Oh, wait, so this is after.
So Ridley like leaves or whatever.
Okay. Gotcha.
And who was funding all his research in Belize? Would you like to guess?
U.S. government?
Bingo. Yeah,
I'm on
you're doing
today.
real good here. Yeah. Yeah. So the government has been funding all this creepy research, but now Barnett's the only one who has all of it.
Ah.
Because apparently the US government was cool with just like, have more cash. You'll get us the research eventually. I guess.
That's how it works.
Doesn't really make sense. Yeah, there's only one copy of the research in existence.
And Barnett has it.
John Barnett has it. That's how it works.
Yeah. So Ridley's looking for him. I don't know. I guess he leaves because then it shows Scully's answering machine playing as Scully's getting in the shower, and it's like, play new messages, and it's like playing the messages, and she hasn't hit any buttons, and she's kind of freaked out. So she takes her answering machine into work and shows it to Mulder and is like, this started playing. Somebody dialed remotely into my voice, or she doesn't say voicemail, into my answering machine while I was in the shower. I heard it going off.
Please tell me that there are salamander prints on the answering machine.
I wish I could tell you that.
Okay.
Earlier, they said, isn't it weird that there's no fingerprints on this note? We should have found some fingerprints. That was because salamander. I was hoping you would have watched it and known. Like, I looked up, do salamanders have fingerprints? I don't know, but
Well, okay, so fingerprints are formed like
in the womb, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
if they're in eggs,
an egg,
right?
Is it different, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I really only know mammalian biology. One of my colleagues studies amphibians, and I feel like every time she tells me about her work, I learn something in like a real basic way.
You can ask her.
There are frogs in Wisconsin?
But you're kidding, right?
Well, no. I mean, halfway. So
Wait,
I knew.
I have a story about frogs. We'll get there. Did I tell you my story about frogs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, so I know there are like bullfrogs. I know there are frogs, but I'm used to seeing mostly toads. But last summer we saw a tree frog in our yard. So like a very like smooth green guy with the big hands. And
Big hands. Yep. Real big.
And so I did not know that we had tree frogs like that in Wisconsin. Okay. What is your frog story?
Oscar Mulder, who I think I may have told you
you did
of this, but I will share it with everyone. Yes. As I have brought up Oscar Mulder on the podcast before, because he has talked about foxglove, the poison. He is a tour guide at the Botanical Gardens in Amsterdam. We arrived for our tour. We went in a greenhouse, and he began by saying, as you enter, just be aware, we've had some poison dart frogs take over. Did I say this? Yes. Yeah, I told you. Yeah. We had some poison dart frogs take over. They were in a terrarium. They escaped. They've sort of taken over the greenhouse. You can hear them quacking. We kind of paused, and we were like, croaking. And he was like, yes. And, they have enough poison to kill 100 men, and we would kind of be like, no, is it safe? And he'd be like, of course. And then he'd say something even more worrisome. And it was just like a really like, oh, he's at the top of his game. He's just saying real weird stuff right off the bat. And yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you go in and you hear them croaking, and it's really high pitched. And we're like, but like, they're poison dart frogs. Is it? And you're saying they could kill 100 people. And he's like, then he explains, to make that poison, they have to eat a certain type of bug, and they don't have access to that bug. So they're safe. He said, they're quite harmless. You could eat 10 of them. Which no one did. We did find them, though, and I got some pictures of them. And they're real tiny and cute and kind of reddish pink.
I thought this whole thing was like a joke when you told me. I was like, oh, he's just being weird and saying a weird joke. But no.
No, he's like really weird in a very real way. So, yeah, they've just taken over one of the greenhouses. So if you ever go to the Hortus Botanicus, listen for the like, it sounds almost like birds chirping, but those are the poison dart frogs that have escaped and taken over.
Wow, I have a friend, an acquaintance, who is moving with her family to the Netherlands because her husband was reassigned. I don't know. I think Epic. He works for Epic.
Den Bosch is a delightful city.
Okay.
It's a delightful city.
Well, I will have to tell them to visit the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah, in Amsterdam.
She has small children, so maybe they should stay away from the poison
No,
dart
they
frogs.
can eat 10 of them.
They
if
can
they
eat
like.
10 of them. That's
Yeah.
true.
Actually, they have a really, really delightful cafe. They don't serve frogs. They have some really good apple pie and tea. It's in the old orangery. Like, rich people had to show off about having oranges. Oscar Mulder did the whole thing about how, and then you would come to their house and they would be like, behold, I have grown you this orange. And now you have to spend the whole year being jealous because he has an orange and you don't. And so, it's great.
I feel like the reaction to the tree frogs is like, or the poison dart frogs is like one of a very classically Dutch response to something dangerous, like how our stepdad is Dutch, and our mom's now boyfriend or partner is also Dutch. And when we went to Amsterdam for the first time in, what was that, 2000?
Yeah.
And you were watching all the bicyclists go by, and I believe you said to Barrett, our stepdad, don't people get hit by the trams going by? Right?
I think I said, like, God, I would think there's accidents all the time with the bikes and the trams. And he said, oh, yes, there are.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
People get hit all the time. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so frogs. Salamanders.
Right, so no fingerprints.
Somebody is called. Oh,
Yeah,
so there's
we have
no
heard-
salamander prints on the answering machine. I
Okay.
wish I could tell you that, but
right.
his left fingerprint is on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because he does have one hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a question. Do fingerprints show up on paper?
On paper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
They do.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Question answered. Thank you. Yeah. So this implies that John Barnett has been in.
Right. So he somehow is invisible as
No.
well?
No, he's just like breaking in and
He's
hiding.
good at creeping around.
Salamander.
Yeah. They don't show him like creeping up a wall or anything. Like, it's not like that.
I would just imagine like he's
Just with, like, the
attached by
one hand.
and then he like
Yeah.
somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. But one of the messages was from a friend of Scully's. It's always weird when they have friends,
Yeah.
Some friend who's going to be playing a cello concert. And so that it's clear from her voicemail or her answering machine message that Scully was going to go to it. So they're like, Barnett has made it clear he wants to kill all of Mulder's friends and then kill Mulder. So probably Scully's in danger. So we're going to use Scully as bait. They get all these agents at the
Concert.
There's a scene first before they go to the concert. Guess who it's with? It's Mulder and someone. You're doing very good.
Deep Throat.
Very good.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Still no Skinner, correct?
Still no Skinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mulder's meeting with Deep Throat, who's like aware of all this, and because it's the U.S. government's been paying him, and it's pretty clear, I think, that like I don't actually know what Deep Throat brings to the table in this episode. Does he give Mulder any useful information?
Well, I think that's how he finds out that the U.S. government has been funding.
Okay.
the doctor.
Okay. I thought it was Ridley told him about the funding, but it was Deep Throat.
I think maybe both of them did.
Okay.
I mean, or maybe Deep Throat was like, don't kill him because he's valuable.
Yeah, because it's clear when they start things at the concert hall, the Mulder's like, don't try not to kill him. So Mulder passes out the photos of the 5 years younger Barnett,
Which looks nothing like him.
no,
Like nothing.
yeah. Oh, Barnett, by the way, I think has a vibe that's kind of Jack Nicholson-y.
Oh.
Feel like when he's like the Joker.
One?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I just feel like the way he talks, he kind of has like Jack Nicholson as the Joker or as like, a villain in general. I don't know, The Shining, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyhow, so like he does creepy stuff like at his trial. He's like, I'm gonna get you, Mulder. And then does
he,
like
gets
kissy
to-
face.
Like who does that?
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
creepy villains in movies.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. So he shows up with a gun to the concert hall. He shoots Scully, but she's got a Kevlar vest on, so she's okay. And then he grabs the cellist and takes her hostage. And Mulder comes in, and of course, it's like a replay of that one moment.
Right.
And he's like, "You're not going to shoot me because I'm too valuable. I've got all this anti-aging research or whatever."
Yeah.
But Mulder shoots him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, Mulder at this point, I feel like doesn't give a heck about this anti-aging research. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like,
John
why
is
would
very
you?
bold to,
Yeah. And I mean, he doesn't want to accidentally shoot the cellist, but he doesn't.
Right.
He shoots him.
Yeah.
Good.
And they show him like on the operating table. Apparently, the U.S. government flies in some experts to like work on him, and there's like some dude interrogating him while he's like dying, and they're like trying to keep him alive, and he's going like, "Where's the research?" Some dude in a suit. Where they're like, "We think the guy in the suit's CIA," and then.
Then he just dies.
He dies. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
For real?
What'd you say?
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But then they do like a voiceover of like Mulder talking to Scully about how at some point someone's going to find that research. This is probably not the last we'll see of him, even if he's actually dead now. And as you're hearing Mulder say that, they zoom in on a locker in like a train station or something, very much implying that's where it is.
Yeah, there's like a ticking sound.
Yeah,
too.
there is a ticking sound.
Oh, weird.
Almost makes it seem like there's a bomb in there, but clearly that's not the case. I think it was meant to be more like sooner or later he'll be back,
right?
Or his research will. But as far as I recall, this never comes back in any other episodes.
Yeah, same. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, as he dies though, last scene as he's dying, salamander hand.
Oh yeah.
They show it.
Really?
And you don't see it until then because he was wearing gloves when he was at the opera.
Yeah. I think they have little flashes of it before they explain what it is. You might have missed that.
I think I might have.
I actually watched this twice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like once several weeks ago. And then today.
Now here's the real question. If you could replace your right hand with that of another animal, which animal would you choose? And you can't choose an ape.
Damn it, I can't choose an ape?
You can't choose an ape.
I have to change my hand? I choose not to.
No, you get to. It's a reward. All right. I don't know hands that well, but I feel like salamander, not an altogether bad choice.
Yeah.
It's human size, whatever you get. And I can't choose ape. Because I would want to choose like gorilla and be super strong.
I was just thinking with the opposable thumbs, it seems like cheating. Yeah. It's too close.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else has hands?
I don't know. I feel like a big cat paw would be great.
You think you'd want a paw?
I mean, think about like in dangerous situations though. You have like tiger claws on one hand.
Like Wolverine or something.
Yeah.
Or a Wolverine hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the most useless
duck
hand?
Duck
maybe like
feet.
a horse.
Did you say duck feet?
I did.
Or a hoof.
Or a hoof, yeah.
Horse feet, yes.
Yeah, horse feet.
Hooves. My English is not working real well.
Horse feet. I like it.
I do realize that are we basically done with that episode?
Yeah. It was quite enjoyable.
The last thing I want to point out is that I don't really understand why this guy had such a vendetta against Mulder, because it feels like even without his testimony, this guy would have gotten a lot of jail time.
Yeah.
There's video footage of him like shooting the hostage and the FBI agent.
Huh. Right.
So it's like, why specifically?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Fox.
I would agree with that.
Huh. Maybe he just had a name that stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, ooh, I can make puns out of this.
Yeah. What's up next? What did it say?
EBE.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Excellent.
Very excited about this.
Yes.
And I have a story from college about EBE. It's real dumb and not cool, but it is what I think of. I think of this probably once or twice a week, but I'll save it for next week.
I'm intrigued.
Excellent.
Don't be too excited.
I did have a minor update. So 2 episodes ago, you mentioned the study that you found in the Journal of Near-Death Studies about watches, because we were talking about, that fact they threw out about 50% of people who have had near-death experiences can't wear watches or whatever it was. And so I did go back and look at it.
Oh, cool.
And I spent some time seeing if I could find anything else remotely related. And I could not. I found a few things like in a sampling of 27 people. See, and that's the problem. So like, I don't want to exactly say it's impossible so much as I want to say that there are no data to support it.
Okay.
So, because like there was that one study and then there were like responses to that one study. And then there was like someone writing that they were planning a study, but then I never found any sort of published data after that. And I don't know if either of you have read the book Spook by Mary Roach.
No, but I like her books.
Yeah, I would recommend it. It's about spirits, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, so she spent some time looking into like paranormal research, and I know it's been a while since I read it, but I know one of the things she talks about is that because these things are not like near-death experiences and stuff, because it's looked down on a little bit, funding doesn't go there, and then they can't get good funding to run decent studies and be published in reputable journals. And there are so few people that have these experiences that just in general, the N is going to be really low.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's a really good book though. Like, she talks about the Fox sisters and like the, history of mediums and the spiritualist movement. And then talks to some, towards the end of the book, talks to some, like near-death experience researchers. So I recommend it, but that's all I've got. Yeah.
And then I have a scary story from a listener.
Great.
Actually, I don't know if she's a listener, but she told me this story and said I could use it in the podcast. Andrea, you should be a listener. Once again, if you're hearing me say this, by definition, you are. So this is Andrea. She says, when I was living in Madison, I went to a party at a friend's house. She lived in an older home off of University Drive. There were 3 couples at the party, so 6 people, 3 women, 3 men. We're playing apples to apples at the dining room table, and I was facing the stairs. At one point, I noticed a woman walking down the steps wearing a long skirt and lace-up boots. I looked around the table, and all the women at the party were sitting at the table. I looked back up the stairs, and she was gone. I asked my friend, half jokingly, if she had a ghost in her house, and she paused and said, "Oh, did you see her on the steps?"
Oh, God.
And she said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh, yeah, that's our ghost." And she said her and her boyfriend had done some research and discovered that a woman had lived in the house a long time ago who was known for her parties. So Maureen said, Maureen is her friend, anytime they had a party, the ghost shows up.
Oh my gosh.
She normally lives upstairs. The ghost did. And her boyfriend, Maureen's boyfriend, had seen her up there a couple of times and had told her to go away, but she hadn't. The only bathroom was upstairs, and you could definitely feel her presence up there.
Ugh.
Maureen and her boyfriend eventually moved out of the house because the ghost was showing up too much. And although she was friendly, her boyfriend couldn't take it.
Yeah, fair.
And then this is all the information I have about a second thing about Andrea's friend Maureen. Simply, and I would really like to know more about this.
Yeah.
Maureen also said there was something weird in their basement, like a portal of sorts, and her boyfriend refused to go down there.
Huh.
A portal?
Yeah, I would like more information on that.
I would also like more information.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess what I picture it like is like in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, where there's the like little blue parts in the water with it's like a
sure.
spiral, and you go in them and then you come out somewhere else.
I want to know what house this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not gonna move, but I can warn off friends that rent.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if college kids are renting there, this was when she was in college.
Oh,
it's probably nowhere that we would want to live.
It's nowhere we're gonna. Yeah, I feel like not at this point. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, apparently I asked her more about the portal. I'm looking at our conversation. The girl's boyfriend got too freaked out and said, "No, we have to stop talking about the portal."
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you'd like to picture Andrea, if you picture this party and Mulder and Scully were investigating it, she says you can picture her played by Jennifer Garner.
Ah, wonderful.
Yes.
Ooh, gosh. Huh. That's so interesting.
Creepy. I feel like I love the ghost stuff. I like that she likes parties and that she was friendly, but just a little too present. But the portal, I feel like that's where I want more information.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Cool. Well, give us your stories.
Yes.
Next
please.
week, we'll talk about EBE. Where will you be next week?
I don't know. It depends on when we record. So I'm in Berlin for the next couple of days.
You're like Carmen Sandiego.
I am, except my trench coat is pink instead of red.
Oh, you do have a trench coat, though. That's right.
And also not waterproof.
No, not waterproof.
Oh,
I don't know if Carmen Sandiego's is waterproof, is it?
I
would
know
assume
that
so.
it was established.
Okay. There was a rainstorm the other night and I just got like soaked and it was like, I'm just wearing a really heavy, wet piece of cloth.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm in Berlin until Sunday. So this episode will be released Friday. I'll be in Berlin still when you're listening to this, provided you listen to it immediately, which I'm sure everyone does. And then I'm going to Dublin, then to Belfast,
that's right.
then to Edinburgh, then to London. Those are the next couple of places.
Man,
It's a rough life. I know.
real jealous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I wonder, wouldn't it be funny if you just ran into my brother-in-law in Dublin?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know which
you
one
could.
it was. But
Ben is Nick lives in
Which one is it?
Milwaukee.
Which
Ben
one?
lives in Dublin or outside of
Ben.
it. Ben.
Ben.
Mhm.
He lives there?
He does. Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was Belfast. Or no, the wedding is in Belfast.
The
but he
wedding
lives
is in,
Dublin.
yeah, my brother-in-law lives in Dublin. His fiance is Irish and her family lives, I believe, in Northern Ireland. And so they're getting married outside of Belfast, but I believe they live outside of Dublin.
I mean, I feel like I go to bed real early and go in early. I'm not going to run into him. We're not going to frequent the same places. I'm like, oh, it's after dinner. I can put on pajamas. So, I don't think that is their way.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm heading to the UK next. And if you feel too jealous, keep in mind that my week in Berlin, my main activity is a really gigantic travel expense report for the student trip I just led. So I'm several hours in and still at the beginning. So
Ooh.
And I'll be in Portugal next week.
yes.
That's
For
exciting.
work, right?
Yes, for work. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So you shouldn't be jealous of that either.
I mean, I'm a little jealous of both of you, but
I mean, yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, I can,
yeah, we shouldn't be like, oh, woe is us.
Yeah.
Like
I love the quote from the Joe Walsh song, like, I can't complain, but sometimes I still do, like that is like my motto or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very, very good.
oh
I'm
yeah.
eating a lot of cake and there's only more cake in the future. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of always true, though.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Now I'm thinking about mortality and how someday I will have eaten more cake than there is cake in my future.
A conversation about like, do you think you've eaten the best cake that you'll eat?
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I think I haven't. I suspect I haven't hit it yet.
Yeah.
Best is yet to come.
Yeah.
I stole that from somewhere. I can't remember from where, but
It's
it
probably-
is stolen. I cannot take credit for that.
Well, maybe that's what fed Dr. Ridley's search for the longevity
Of
research or whatever. Yeah. Well, so that he can continue to eat more cake.
Oh, I
Yes.
do have a final thing to say on the anti-aging research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll try to make it quick. So like 10 years ago.
Make it quick. 10 years ago.
Okay, so at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, they do have an exhibit that's like about the future. And so it's like a bunch of like mini exhibits about different futuristic research. And one of the things that they highlight is this anti-aging research guy. And he thinks that the person who will live to 1,000 has already been born.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah. So that's what he says. And he says, and that person might even be 50 or 60.
What?
What?
That's what he says. I did some more research on it. It sounds like some people really think he's a quack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet he's in the Museum of Science and Industry.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what to think, but he also seems like a bad person.
Yeah.
Like he got accused of like sexual harassment.
Oh,
God.
so he's bad in all sorts of neat ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't look into it too much further, but
Wow.
there is like, it is a field like looking for like ways to extend
Yeah.
the human lifespan.
It does seem like really douchey people are into that.
Yes.
Like people like rich dudes who are like, I fast on this schedule and I sleep on this schedule and I eat Soylent and it's going to keep me alive or whatever.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
The cost
Yeah.
of having to eat Soylent.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I would way rather live to 100 and eat as much cake as I want than live to 150 and never eat cake. I mean, I don't know that I'm given those options.
And also you have one hand that's yours and the other hand is some sort of animal. Can it hold a fork? Does that matter? Yeah.
I can become left-handed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident.
This is also just like that Parks and Rec quote with Chris Traeger when he's like, scientists say the first person to live to be 120 is already alive. I believe I am that person. And so,
Does he
like,
say 120? Because I actually looked it up, and the oldest recorded person to have lived to be 122.
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was born in 1875 and died in 1997.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
yeah.
She was old. I didn't have anything really. I was thinking I wanted to set something up like she saw this initially and then saw that. And then I had absolutely nothing. I could not come up with a single goddamn thing. It's not like I teach a class on the history of science or anything. I think around that time or before, like I bet she at the very least wouldn't I mean, not that she necessarily had one. Like, I don't know how common they were, but I feel like that's late 1800s.
Wow.
I don't know. I should know that. I don't know. That's not. The point is, she didn't have the internet, and then she did. There, I did it. I said something meaningful. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
It was probably dial-up, though.
Super meaningful. We could say that about a lot of people.
Yeah. Like myself.
Yeah.
Like all of us. Yeah.
Well, okay, when was internet invented? In the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, do you remember not having internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Helen, you remember us not having internet? Yeah. Okay. I think we've talked about that. Yeah.
I remember when we got our first computer. I remember walking out of Best Buy and it was like this like giant box.
Yeah. You were smaller. Maybe the box just looked bigger. No, I'm sure it was big.
It was just a laptop.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, next week, EBE from somewhere in the UK.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Thanks again.
Oh, and once again, thank you for being
thanks
here.
for being here.
We want to believe pod@gmail.com. Tell us what you think. We'll read whatever you write us within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah. And then
we draw the line at Property Brothers Erotica.
I was literally just about to say that. Literally, I was.
Well, good. We know where the line is.
It's firmly established.
Yeah.
Other HGTV personalities.
That's fine.
Fanfic. Okay.
Yeah.
I would consider it.
Yeah.
All right.
Depends on how good it is.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, thank you. Also, we want to believe pod on Instagram.
Yes. And technically we have a Twitter account, but I never do anything.
Yeah.
If you followed it, maybe I would. Listeners. So.
Bye.
Yes, them into it.
Yeah. That's what people like.